Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Meticulous Moments show. I'm Juanita Kapp from South Africa, but today I'm streaming from Texas here in Hawker Heights. And let me tell you, we've had some weather here. We had storms, and all the power lines were down yesterday, and the Wi-Fi's were off, and a lot of things happened around our area. And it just makes us grateful again for all the things that we have to use like technology to be able to do these shows. So just a shout out to everybody out there who helped, everybody that's working out there to make sure that we have comfortable lives, that we can streamline everything. You are awesome. We appreciate you. And also to the Meticulous Moments audience, the MAM members, everyone who has been on this journey with me. I just want to say thank you for all the years of support. You really, really have made MAM and Meticulous something very, very special. Meticulous Moments has always been about community upliftment through leadership development. And with MAM, with the Meticulous Martial Arts Mastermind, what do? We invite you on this journey because we are facilitating a foundation for the future, and that is built upon the morals and the values and the principles of martial arts. And it's a great honor for me today to be back here on this stage at Meticulous Moments with a very, very special guest that we have in the green room. And I'm going to read a little bit more about him, and then I'm going to bring him on screen so that we can have a wonderful conversation. And today, our special guest is Shogun Brown, and he's Shogun Brown Sensei, honored, receiving his 10th dan from instructor James Debra III and Sport Karate Museum History General. And that's, of course, with Professor Gary Lee. He received a History General Award as well, induction, and he was also inducted into the Rocky DeRico International Black Belt Hall of Fame, and another induction into the Kata Expert Team of the Sport Karate Museum. And guys, with James Debra, with our wonderful GMs, the third, he is also a MAM Hall of Fame inductee. So we are collaborating, and may I just say it's a wonderful honor to have you here. And let's introduce our guest, Shogun Brown. How are you today?
Oh, I am doing well. Thank you, Juanita Sensei. I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm just over here. I'm having goosebumps. I'm sweating, and I'm stoked to be here tonight. So thank you for the introduction. All live. They're all live. I'm just kidding. But thank you. Yes, we had some weather up here in Shawnee, Kansas as well. It's crazy up here. So anyway, I understand. But to make a long story short, it is an honor to be an ambassador for MAM. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last December, but I do have it on my schedule for 2025. I will see you down at Professor Gary Lee's. And we have the opportunity together to hand, I call him PGL legendary Professor Gary Lee, his MAM award as well. He's excited about it. He's acting like he's not, but he really is. So, but yeah, thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to have you have me on the show this evening. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It is so wonderful to have amazing legends such as yourself here on the show. I have to say, on this journey with Meticulous Moments and MAM since 2020, just looking at the caliber of guests such as yourself, it has really, imparted a lot into my life and spirit, as well as the audience. So thank you for making the time to be here. Professor Gary Lee, we are very excited and honored, if you're watching, to see you and to hand your award to you. It's going to be so awesome.
Gary Lee is awesome. James V. Debra III, my instructor. There's not enough wall space to put up his pedigree. Surrounded by such good mentorship in people, and like yourself and all your Hall of Famers and ambassadors there, from Eric Lee, the list goes on and on. So yes, totally stoked and thank you.
You are so welcome. I speak to Grandmaster Eric Lee often because I consider him to be my mentor. And
yes.
he always pours this wisdom into my life. He always said things like, he was encouraging me a lot just
Yeah,
before, the Man Hall of Fame. And he said,
yeah.
Juanita, he said, a turtle will not go anywhere if it doesn't stick out its neck. So every time, I got so busy, I was just like, no, 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 remember what he said, just keep pushing. And
That's right. Yes, yes.
the mentors are
Absolutely true.
important. Yeah. Grandmaster James the Brother said is your teacher. He's
Yeah,
your mentor. And I've explained this to guests so many times on the show. But for those that are new here that haven't heard me say this before, I want to express and just say from my experience in the martial arts, the dojo is not just a place to learn forms or kata
no,
or weapons, or it's a
no,
place of mentorship. It's not
yeah,
just a place where you exercise. It's
no,
a place where you go to be at your second home.
no.
And the sensei, the kiyoshi, the sifu, they become our mentors. They become our family. They know everything
Absolutely.
about our lives.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
My experience, first of all, with my instructor, James B. DeBro III, the man's incredible. Um, he has a pedigree and he has years and years of experience from his father, his uncle, his grandfather, rattlesnake speed, buffalo power. Uh, you always do two things: protect your vitals as you destroy theirs. The parasympathetic nervous system, limbic. I mean, the list goes on and on. I've learned so much from him. He's a mentor to me. He's a father. He's a big brother. He's a we're a comedian act. I mean, he is wonderful and such an inspiration, and he's brought so much martial arts experience, law enforcement experience, chief of police, U.S. Marshal. I mean, the man's done it all. He was on detail with the Bush administration. I mean, he doesn't want me to say a lot of things about him. We have a lot of conversations, but just my experience with all my instructors, my Okinawan Kempo, my Kubudo, China, 18 Postures, the late great Terry Bryan, from Dan Kennedy, Hanshi, to my brothers, the Pack, Derek Whitlow, Robert Jackson. The list goes on and on. Captain Clark. I mean, it's just they're our family, But as Dr. Jackson calls James B. Debro the third, he calls him Pops, right? I'll call him Dai Sensei, O Sensei Chief.
Oh,
So, because if
good.
I don't say those three, he is on me. And you do not want to get that man upset. So anyway, but yeah, he's in the family. He's everything. The dojo is much more. It's
Yeah.
it's a home. What do
Yeah.
you do at home? Do you just eat, right? Do you just sleep there? No, there's chores, there's
Mhm.
protection, right? There's learning, there's entertainment, there's memories. I mean, it's same as a dojo. Brothers and
Right.
sisters, cousins, you get together, parties, whatever, But it's not just about an address, right? But here's the deal, though, Juanita Sensei. If you have that type of dojo,
Yeah.
you may think that it's just an address.
Mm.
But believe me, sooner or later, it's going to be much more than that, because the camaraderie between it's going to evolve into something bigger and greater. So that's
That's
just a part of it. I can go on and on and on alone,
that's right.
but just being around such influential, inspirational people like Professor Gary Lee, James B. Debro III, Roy Curbin, the list goes on and on. Rocky. I mean, we're going to be down there with Wallace and Norris, and the
Yeah.
list goes on and on. It's insane, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
insane. So,
It's
I
it's
mean,
just so powerful. And it's joyful to be in the dojo. There's joy
Absolutely.
like they would be in a household. I've never laughed so hard. I've never cried so hard. You know, when you're working or when you go through a very tough grading, you know, afterwards you're like, oh, this is so, I've got scars. And, but it's the joy
Oh,
and it
absolutely.
makes you want more.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Your description was absolutely, you hit the nail on that head. I think about Grandmaster Eric Lee. I'm always so happy when I've spoken to him. He's
Yes.
like a ball of joy, a ball of energy. You know,
Yes.
he's always busy with something. Professor Gary Lee, when I speak to him, he's always talking about how lucky he is. You know, he's a lucky Hawaiian boy. And he's always aloha, Juanita, and
Right.
he's also positive. Derek
Yeah.
Whitlow was on the show. You know, we had a deep religious and martial arts
Right.
connection discussion.
Exactly.
Dr. Robert Jackson, what a legend, you know,
Right.
absolutely
Yes.
fantastic to induct him as well.
Yes.
You, Shogun, I mean, only what I hear from you always is positive and uplifting. And I just said to myself, I have to have you on the show because that's what we do. We do upliftment here. You know, we put that good energy out there, and the people in the dojo become our family. And
Absolutely.
our
Yes.
family reaches out to the martial arts globally. And
Yes.
it's a wonderful thing that we can stand together as martial artists and that
Absolutely.
we can shine that light, as Grandmaster Eric Lee would say, the light into that darkness.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's wonderful. And I wanted to ask you now, in your journey, I mean, we all know it's a lifelong journey, it becomes a lifestyle. It's not something that is, oh, we train and then, you know, maybe we stop training and we, if people decide to take a break from martial arts for whatever reason, let's say it's work related or health related, the martial arts never leaves their lives because
No.
those principles that they learned there is a
Yes.
part of their personal and professional development. What was
Yes.
the greatest moment for you that developed you, you know, personally or professionally in the dojo?
Well, there's so many, right? So I'm going to take you to the beginning. And people often ask me the same question. The other question they ask is, what actually got you in the martial arts, right? And, you know, it's all about watching black belt theater, and watching the guys train. And I saw Bruce Lee and I saw Enter the Dragon and, you know, the Wu Tang and the Chow brothers and blah, blah, blah. You know, what actually my story is completely different, right? So I I got into martial art out of fear. Okay,
You
when
flipped
I
the
was in
script.
kindergarten, in Kansas City. Now, whoever's watching this, they will understand it, right? I went to Graceland Elementary, and in kindergarten, right, in 1968, I'll be 62 in May, right? So in 1968, I was 5 years old. Back in those days, there was no computer, there was no phone. I mean, we had recess, right?
That's
And,
right.
you know, so we went to kindergarten a half a day.
Mhm.
Now, I couldn't believe this. Somebody wanted to fight me. I'm 5 years old in the deep, I'm talking deep inner city, right? Inner city, right? And I'm like, it was processing like, okay, you know, I'm five, right? I was always kind of mature for my age, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, it kind of dawned on me. First, it was like, why do you want to fight me? You know, because I'm
Yeah.
always happy. I was born happy. I wake up happy. I'm always laughing, always joking, always full of energy. I mean, when I was born, I laughed instead of cried, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And then it hit me. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, I may get in a fight. Now, you know, I'm five. I'm the youngest of six. So, of course, you scrap, right?
Yeah.
But then I got to thinking, okay, what am I going to do? It didn't happen, right? Something happened and it just didn't happen, right? So myself and my cousin Steve, we were walking in the projects, and it was Juniper Gardens. So it's on Third and Quindaro housing project. I was 6 years old. My cousin's 7. I think he was 8, but at that time, and we're walking down the street, and this guy goes, "Hey, come here!" And we're like, "Uh-oh, did you do something?" I didn't do anything. I'm 6. He's 7 or 8, and he walks to us and says, "Do you know how to defend yourself? You know how to fight?" And we're like, "I don't know now."
Not yet.
So he forced us to do a lesson, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So we're in the front yard, these kids are around. He put us in a horse stance. He never told us his official name, right? And he taught us horse stance, He taught us, reverse punch or Seiken Churansuki. And we learned that. I think that's pretty much probably all he knew. But he was very like, you're going to do it this way, bend your knees, pop, 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 whatever he learned.
Yeah.
And we were there for a while, and he just didn't show up anymore.
Oh.
So my first moment, I want to say, is second grade, and almost got into another fight, and I was ready. The
You
feeling,
knew what to do.
the feeling of being in the second grade, and there's so much fighting and in the inner city, and for no reason, so much going on. And I think that people really didn't like me because I was always so happy and nice, but I didn't put up with anybody's mess. I mean, I'm a stick of dynamite back then, right? And I learned that people treat you one way, the way you allow them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that I'm not buying that. I'm not accepting you hurting me. I'm not accepting your abuse. I'm not accepting your attitude. It's not happening. So I've learned in my mind to first give respect, because if I don't get it, I can teach you a lesson now, and I feel okay with it.
That's right. That's good.
So I can say, to me, as a martial artist, if you forget about those beginning lessons that molded you into being a yellow belt or a fifth dan or a black belt, never forget as an instructor the passion behind your first class and your last class. Never. And as an instructor, if you forget that, then you need to really be reminded and read the room of your students, because that energy they will adapt to.
That's right.
I like to start from the beginning and go, if that's cool. At 5 years old, I almost got into, somebody wanted to fight me, and I almost got into a fight. In second grade, I was ready for that fight, and I've been ready ever since. I'm nice. I ask questions. Why do you want to do this? That's not going to happen here. So there you go. So that I can say honestly, I like digging deep into the beginning of everything, and baseline it into where you are now. Right?
Yeah.
We all have Memorex. We all have stories. But I love those youth, those young development, character, integrity stories, when non-integrity is all around you, and you seek to find that golden nugget every day in that theory.
Amen.
So that's more of my story. I mean, I have tons more, but I don't want to bring those up. If I could, we could talk about those in October.
Yes, absolutely. There's something big coming.
I don't want to get those on film.
That's got to happen. That's got to happen in October. It's going to be so amazing to be in Houston. The Sports Karate Museum, for those who are watching, Professor Gary Lee and I, we are
Yeah,
collaborating. Ma'am is collaborating with him, and we're going to have a spectacular weekend. And I was thinking
absolutely.
about a few things when you were talking, and I'm so happy you mentioned that, because that is wisdom right there.
Yes,
There's
yes,
certain
it is.
things that go through your mind when you step onto that mat. And as you were talking, I was thinking about the following. You'll never forget the first time you stepped onto that mat, how uncertain you were of
Right.
yourself, how kind of little shaky you were the first time
Yes,
you had to perform your kata, or compete in a tournament. There's nothing that you forget about that journey. You remember. For me, I remember when I step on that mat, I remember how I felt when I started, and I remember how I
yes,
feel now,
yes,
and the
yes,
changes that martial arts has brought about in my character,
yes,
really giving us confidence, giving us the opportunity to realize our inner strength,
yes,
to realize what we are capable of. And that feeling brings about a feeling of gratitude in my spirit, because
yes,
I just want to say, martial arts, it saved my life, not just
yes,
in one way. It saved my life in many ways.
yes.
And it changed me, and it keeps changing me.
Right. Yes. Same here. Story after story after story after story. I can tell you, freshman in high school, guns in the locker. I mean, shootouts in seventh grade in the neighborhood. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it prepares you, right? So, and it wasn't a entertainment cool need for me. Uh, it was a it was a want and a need. You
Mm.
know, I needed it. I wanted it because I needed it, right?
Mhm.
It was 100% on both ends. I didn't
Yeah,
care about competitions. I cared about getting home, right?
right.
So if I had my mindset is completely different. I mean, even to this day, there's a light switch, you know,
That's right.
that it's embedded in me. This is
Mm-hmm.
my theory. You have gunslingers that twirl a gun, and you have gunslingers that aim it and they
Yeah.
hit it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you going to be when that gunslinger that hits it every time and you've been twirling?
Yeah.
You can twirl that gun, put it in that holster. Oh, it looks nice, John. It looks nice, Johnny Ringo,
Yeah.
right? But when it actually comes time to use your art, right?
Yeah.
The agenda to defend your life and the life of your loved one, and to know the responsibility and the sacrifice behind it with a criminal and civil lawsuit or investigation that can
Mm-hmm.
happen with that responsibility afterwards.
That's right.
I believe in any weapon, you should learn how to disarm it first before you learn anything else. I don't
Yes.
care if it's sai, bow, ukebo, nuntebo, nunchako, swing
Yeah.
that thing all day long, but
Yeah.
you need to learn how to disarm it first, because if you get it in your hands, you need to learn how to keep it so they don't get it back.
That's right. That's a very, very good point. And I don't think that point's ever been raised on the show before. And it's a very, very good point. It's essential that we know this. And it made me think about, it's lovely to do kata too. I love kata. But do we know the bunkai? Do we know what that move means? We have to
Exactly.
learn the bunkai. I have to
Right.
know if I'm breaking an arm or a leg or doing a
Right.
split. I have to know that, because
Yes.
otherwise it's just something pretty. And it's
Exactly.
not just about being pretty. Yes, tournaments are lovely. I love tournaments. I love all tournaments.
Yes.
I love all styles. I love nationals,
Me too.
everything. But I do want to be confident when I walk on the street. I want to know how to defend myself. And that was the
Right.
biggest takeaway for me, because I come from South Africa and it's dangerous
Wow.
there.
Yes, I believe. Yeah.
And you don't just walk the street there if you on your own. No, no, no,
No.
no. You have to be just as aggressive as they are. And
Yes.
I'll give an example. I have a Mahindra Scorpion truck in South Africa, and I live in the
Mm.
Eastern Cape in Queenstown. And I have 2 children, and we have to drive in the afternoon to the dojo for an hour. We spend 3 hours there
Wow.
for 3 classes. And then by the time we have to go home, it's dark, and we live on a farm.
Right.
So that time of the day, there's lots of taxis and vehicles at the fuel stations. And people are irritated, and it's just us in between all of these vehicles
Wow.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that if someone wants to start a ruckus or comes and pushes on my door, so that I can't get out, or they're trying to get me or push me into a corner with the vehicle, or they're trying to be rude or aggressive, I'll get out of that car.
Yeah.
I've got no problem doing so,
Right. Yeah.
because I have to match that aggression.
Exactly.
Because
Yes.
if I'm a victim, I'm going to turn out to be the victim.
Yes. I totally agree. I
Yeah.
teach, now that you said that, I teach from what I call leveling at 5 levels. It's like peeling the onion, right? Beginner, intermediate, advanced, skilled advanced, and yours, right? You can be a beginner, but once you understand that beginner technique, it is yours. That's our Kihan, that's our Kimi. There's also something people don't understand. It's called Imbu. That's working a technique and taking the self-defense out of it.
Good.
And you're just working the technique. If we all work a technique to the full 100%, we're going to break our toys. Nobody's going to want to work out with you, and you're going to be broken. That's
right.
not smart. So, beginner, intermediate, advanced, skilled, advanced, and yours. So that means on leveling, you need to match, like you said, Sensei, Juanita, their intensity, but match it in a way to go, that's not working here. And have an answer at that level. If there's skilled advanced and you never worked skilled advanced or never thought about that level, you are behind the scene. You're too late. You're so far behind, you think you're in first place. Right?
That's it.
And that term came from my instructor, James B. Debro III, because people don't get it.
Yeah.
Right? You have to understand everything is not full bore, high kick every class. You train your body to learn how to basically intercept the technique with the proper leveling and being able to finish the technique as needed with the proper leveling and understanding what level you're dealing with when you are applying your technique. It's called Imbu.
Amen. Absolutely. And I would love for you to make available to the audience in the comments how they can, train with you, how they can get this, instruction, if you do online classes or your area where you teach, because I believe that enlarging and making the syllabus bigger, and that's what I love about MAM. We're all martial artists coming together. All the MAM members are so amazing. They're so high level, so humble, and they really want to keep the values of the martial arts alive. The ones that are there, the traditional ones that are coming, they are adapting. So everybody comes together and teaches their style, and we learn from each other. We're always going to learn. Something new pops up every time. Now, you were mentioning a switch, and I'm going to give you an example of what that brought up in my mind. You mentioned that you wake up happy. And
Every
when you
day.
were born, you didn't cry, you were laughing. I'm the same way. I am happy all the time. I can't help it. And some people like it, and other people, I don't know, they're dealing with their own things, and they don't like it, and that's fine. But I can't help to be happy. I'm just happy to be alive. Every day is beautiful.
Yes.
I see the silver lining on every cloud. So when I started training, I was a full-time pastor at that time, and everybody was like, what is the pastor doing at the dojo? And they were like, how are you ever going to fight? You're so nice. You're always helping. And I said, well, this is the dojo. It's not the church now. We're here to fight. So there's a switch that flips. There's a switch that flips in my mind. So my sensei always used to say, he was a sensei back then, he's a Kiyoshi now, he said, the one in South Africa, he said, Juanita, you always go into the cage, and because we do MMA as well, he said you always go into the cage, and then you're still that friendly person. He says, but the first time someone punches you in the face, it's like there's a switch. It's like the beast comes out.
Yeah.
And then I don't recognize you. So how does that switch work for you? What switches you into that mode, or how do you approach fighting? Do you go in ready? Are you already prepped, or are you the same?
Okay, first of all, let me say this. Everybody has an opening. I don't care how good you are. Everybody has a weakness. I don't care how good you are. But mentally, my switch is always on. So I'm known for being the guy in the back of the room. I'm a professional listener. I like to laugh. I like to joke. If anyone is watching this and they've been around me, I'm always having fun. I'm always listening, right? And I've learned how to keep that listening switch on. I listen to sensory. I listen to smell. I listen to body language. I'm an empath personality.
Uh-huh.
So my heightened sense, I've learned how to keep it on and keep it happy and understand when the planets line up. It's like radar. So I
That's
ask
right.
questions. I always ask questions. First of all, let me get this right. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You mean to tell me what's going on with you? You okay? Secondly, let me get this right before I react. So now it's like a
That's
sense
right.
of,
Second
I just want to
nature.
make sure I understand what's going on here. And then it gets to the point where I'm like, well, first of all, that's not going to work here. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I mean, and if I don't have time for that, then I just do my training. And my training is at a heightened sense of 220 beats per minute for 5 minutes. And if that's what we do, we do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Years ago, right? Years ago, people don't understand. When I competed,
Yeah.
I didn't care about me. I just wanted to hurt you. See, that's what people don't understand. I'm already there. So if you're afraid that you think I'm afraid that I'm going to get hurt or knocked out, I'm already past that fear. Anybody can get knocked out. Anybody can get hurt. But where are you at right now? Right? Are you there with me? Because I don't care about me. What I want to do is stop you. And here's how I'm going to do that through all means. I'm going to protect my vitals while I destroy yours. And that may be over aggressive because that person is skilled over aggressive.
Yeah. It's a fight. It's a battle.
What is the first thing when you're in trauma? What is the first thing when you're on that gurney and they put you on that bed in that trauma unit? What's the first thing they check is your vitals.
That's right.
Well, let me tell you what, you're going to spend some time checking them. So I'm already there. So my switch is a nice switch. I am so nice that I take away your anger, right? Because I'm not matching that with resistance.
That's right.
And I ask questions and I make you say it out loud. Now, why do I do that? Because when law enforcement shows up and they're like, what happened? Well, that little bitty tiny guy over there was really nice. And that really big guy over there, because I'm a little guy, right? I'm a small statured guy, right? I'm like 5'4" and 140 pounds. So, I mean, I'm short. I look big on camera, but I'm not. So now, that little bitty guy over there, he was so nice that other guy kept
Keep bothering you.
And all of a sudden, wapow, the big guy goes down. I don't know what happened. So where am I at now? So I'm investigated, right? They come over and talk to me. Not that
That's right.
I do not have experience with this, Sensei Juanita. I do not know anything about. I'm just hypothetically saying this is a situation.
Yeah.
So now I'm calm. Law enforcement asks me questions. I'm calm. I explain what happened. There you go. So I'm always on, but I've learned how to be on with control. I'm not walking around in that
Yes,
color zone, right?
that's right.
So that
That's right.
switch is here, but it depends on how my senses, my heightened sense, is going to react to it. And I stay calm, you know. I'm not
Yeah,
a very creative, show off type person. I just
yeah.
rat a tat tat, boom, boom, you know, and I'm done. You know,
It's
I don't
done.
I don't
Series
twirl.
2, 3 moves and it's done.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I train for
Right.
every day.
That's right. And I think the most valuable lesson we can learn. And I was when I started out with martial arts, I was I could get angry.
Yeah.
And the more the years passed, I'm a very calm person.
Yes.
It's just
Right.
calmed me down.
Yes.
So when I have to fight, I fight. But the rest of the time, I'm like this. I'm calm. And I'm happy. And my Kiyoshi used to say, Juanita, if something, because I'm also small in stature, he used to say, if someone would mess with you, they would get the surprise of their
Oh
lives
yeah.
because they wouldn't expect it. Being calm is good to me. I said to
Yeah.
someone the other day, I don't like confrontation,
Right.
not in any sense.
No.
I'll
Right.
protect myself if I have to, but I like peace. I
Yeah.
think it's important, sir, that we protect our personal peace. How
Yes.
important is that?
It's hard to light a stick of dynamite without fire. So it's hard to really get to a heightened sense of someone trying to hurt you
Mm,
if you're not totally resistant at first.
mm.
But that doesn't mean that there's no fight in that person
Yeah.
or protection. It just means that you're trying to figure it out. And let me tell you what, once the planets line up and you figure it out, a lot of times, how do you feel afterwards, right? How do you
Mm,
feel after the math?
yeah.
That's what people don't get. So don't walk around puffed up, trying to be the best. I can do the splits.
Mm,
I can kick harder. Let's fight. Let's fight. You know what? You're already good enough. Go ahead. That's
yeah.
fine. Go ahead. I'm a
Yeah.
nobody. Go ahead. You're great. You win. Thank you. But you know what?
Okay.
I'm going to walk over here. Don't follow me.
Yeah, because you're going to regret it. I read a poster the other day. It's because it was a lion face that it caught my attention. It said, just because someone chooses the path of peace doesn't mean that they're not skilled at war.
Exactly. Yeah, it's best to be a warrior in a garden instead of being a gardener in a war.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lots of things going out there in the world,
Yes.
and peace. I just believe nobody wins in war. I believe it's a waste of time. There's casualties everywhere. We look at the world at the moment, and I'm so happy to see that in all of the chaos, the martial artists that I know, the martial artists globally, your organization, the Sports Karate Museum, Dr. Williams's organization, all of these amazing organizations are promoting character development, promoting peace,
Yes.
promoting the good stuff, because there's so much of the negative things out
Right.
there. We have to counter that, and we do it in a good way. I
Yeah.
was so pleasantly surprised at the MAM Hall of Fame last year, because when I looked at the room, I saw a family reunion. I saw people there that was celebrating each other's accomplishments.
Right.
I saw new friendships being formed, and I was standing next to Tangpo Kisi Muhammad. Hi, Kisi, if you're watching. And he was standing right next to me, and I was still busy with the program. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like, God was just speaking to me because I experience like you. I'm an empath like you. I have these visions and epiphanies, and I feel energy. Right. And when I felt it, I stopped what I was saying, and I was holding the microphone, and I said, "Guys," I said, "I'm standing next to Kisi Muhammad. I'm standing next to Frank Pro from Kickboxer 2. I said, "I watched him in that movie when I was a kid."
Right. Yes.
And I said, "Here I am." And I said, "How did that happen?" And I always give God all the glory.
Oh, absolutely.
I say this publicly. I can't do nothing without God.
Absolutely. God gets the glory. But you know what? We still have to put the work in, and that's what your personality, who you are. There's no surprise, Sensei. There's no surprise, Sensei Juanita. It's tough, right? Yeah. When you see the tree, you forget about the seed. Yeah. Right? And that's PGL. The seed is the hard work. You're not talking about, oh, this happened. Oh, no. We get the job done, your personality, your energy, your contacts. Be a people magnet of positivity, right? I don't care what's going on in the world, right? We all have 1,440 minutes in a day, right? So it doesn't matter. How you wake up has nothing to do with somebody else in office or whatever. How you wake up in your family every day, that is going to happen no matter who's in office. That's going to happen no matter who is at your job, right? Yeah. When you wake up every day, you stay positive, be the example, because sooner or later, that person may change when you're not around because you're influencing them. So we all have a choice, right? Yeah. To be considerate, to be loving one another, to appreciate one another, and listen to one another entirely, be a professional listener, and motivate each other, and understand that there's no comparison. There's only learning from each other.
That's right.
There's a difference between doing what's right and being right. And sometimes doing what's right is just listening and edifying and be real and not fake and not condescending.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. That energy we put out there is so, so important. I always share this secret with the audience. And I say, I wake up happy. Yes. So I like to put out good energy into the world. Because I know it's going to be reciprocated.
Yes. Now, you had mentioned
to the universe.
You had mentioned Kata Bunkai, right? And I absolutely love Kumite. I love Kata Bunkai. I love it. But some people say, oh, Kata's no good. That's fine. You know what? I'm not here to try to convince somebody to do something that they don't believe in. I just accept it. I like, you know what? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? That's right. I love it. If they don't ask, they don't ask. Right? I just say, well, how come you don't like it? I just ask questions. Kata and Kata Bunkai, done at the 5 levels. Yep. That's the difference. People make up Kata Bunkai. And I understand it. It is made up, but it's mainly an experience of warring. There's Do and there's Bushido. Do just means way.
That's right.
Military way basically is an art of protection against somebody better than you, somebody more experienced than you, and you're protecting yourself or your loved one. Yeah, try Do, just doing the way and see what happens. Kata, I'm a Kata fanatic. I love every move, every person from Sakagawa to Tokamini to Masamura. I mean, the list goes on, and just the feel of it, right? To feel is to believe. Absolutely. With a touch, without hurt. Imbu.
Yes.
right? To feel it is to believe. You can't explain love to anybody until they feel it. Oh, I don't want to be in love. I don't need anybody. Yeah, let some love creep up on you and see what happens. You be doing stuff you never thought you'd be doing before. And
New motivation.
let this karate love hit you. Boom, boom, boom. You're like, I'll take it. I'll take it. Ah!
That's right. That's right. I call it when the penny drops, when you have students in class and you can see they do the move, but they're not
Right.
feeling it. It's
Yeah,
not part of them yet.
absolutely.
So you see them
Yeah.
and they're doing the move and then that one day, I don't know what happens. I can't describe it. It's how they develop. They come in and they do that kata and you can see on their face when
Yeah.
they felt that power.
Yes.
It's like it resonates. And from there on, the penny dropped and they understand
Right.
martial arts. They understand that energy. That is
Right.
the gift in the whole world for a
Yes.
teacher to see.
The best power, speed, accuracy, timing, and distance, right? But in kata, you have stance, block, eye contact, chamber hand, and intent. And timing merges it together. The
That's
best
right.
power you can possess is the power unseen that is felt.
Yeah.
And so many people are, oh, yeah, I didn't see this. Your foot didn't move, blah, blah. I get that. You know what? Yeah, my foot didn't move. I'm sorry. I'm 5'4" and I wear a size 19 shoe, So I'm sorry, my feet don't move like most people, right? so so anyway, it's like, I get it, but the thing is, you're only analyzing from your level of dough,
That's right.
right?
Yo,
I'm not
understood.
arguing that.
Yes.
I'm not even going to say anything. The
Yeah.
best, most masterful power is the power unseen
That's right.
that is felt.
I'm thinking of something, and I want to give a shout out to Grandmaster Jesse Bowen, and he'll remember this.
Yes.
Grandmaster Jesse Bowen, Hanshi, he was my first MAM member. In 2020, I called him and I said, Hanshi, I have the most wonderful news for you. And he said, yes, ma'am. What is that news? And I said, you get to be my first MAM member. And he started laughing and he signed up. And from there, I've built, but he's always been there.
Right.
And then I met Hanshi last year in person at the Action Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Alan Goldberg. He was there with his beautiful wife and his family, and he had his table there. And then this last year, but in December, he was at the MAM Hall of Fame. Because he was also an inductee, and he launched my book with Elite Publications. And I was standing with Mark Stas from Belgium, the Belgian Bruce Lee. He was one of my honorary guests and facilitators, along with Silvio Simak, Ron Smorenberg, Joe Cortes, Shannon the Cannon.
Wow. Such talent, such gifted talent.
Yeah, so I'm standing like next to Mark and Ron, and we're talking, and Hanshi comes walking up, and someone wanted to take a photo. I can't remember. I think it was Grandmaster Ted Gambardella. I think it was Ted. And he said, pose for the photo. And I don't know, we didn't even say nothing. We just both went into the stance, same stance. And it was synchronized, sir. And the moment we did this, there was an energy.
Yes.
I felt that energy go. And I looked at Hanshi and I said, did you feel that? And he said, yes, ma'am. Yeah. That is the energy, the power unseen.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. And it's moments like that. It takes experience, right? You cannot be insecure to adapt to that power. You cannot be insecure. You have to understand. It has to be felt. It has to be embraced. If
it has to be understood.
You won't grow, right? It's just, you have to. People fight love. They fight martial arts. They I don't want to train today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. There's nothing wrong with how a person feels like that, right?
Yeah.
But we have to be the example to give them a choice,
Mm.
right? We are the they may come back a year later. You may meet that person 4 years later, right?
Yeah.
But when you look that person in the eye, you want to be that person that always went first with love and respect.
That's right.
You take they may talk down you and talk about you, blah blah blah. They may say this. People don't understand where everybody's coming from. People want to be judgmental. That's fine. You know what? I'm impenetrable. You can judge me all day long, right? Go ahead. Look at my big feet. That's fine. You know, look at the socks that I don't wear with my tennis shoe. I don't care. But you know
Yeah.
what? You will never penetrate my soul of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Amen.
want to do that, sooner or later, I'm going to ask you why.
Yeah.
Why would you? Why? Okay, let's talk about this, right?
That's right. Because a
That
lot of the
energy is
time, yeah, a lot of the time people don't call other people out. And that was one of my things. I used to just, like be the punch bag. I would just,
right.
because I like to be friendly,
Yeah,
I would just like to be, I just to protect the peace. And I'm talking about years and years ago. I would just take the insults or whatever, and I would just take the path of peace. And I thought that was the godly thing to do until I realized that God wants us to stand up for ourselves, So I
absolutely.
started calling people out. I had a church and people would worship in the benches, they'll worship God in the worship session. I'll preach, they'll come out for prayer. Then they'd go next door to the tea area, and the one person would be standing having a cup of tea with me, and the other person that they dislike would be on the other side of the hall. And they'd start telling me, that person. And how I stopped that is I called them out. I said, well, we are here and they are here. Let us call them and talk about the problem that you have.
Right.
And 99.9% of the time, the problem just went away
Yes. Yes.
because we have to call people out on their
Right.
bad behavior. So now when someone gaslights me, or when someone tries to manipulate me in a situation, I call them out and I say, well, I'm not comfortable with what is happening in this situation. So let's try and discuss it and find middle ground and understand the situation.
Yeah.
And I think communication is very important.
100%. I believe that confrontation is an opportunity for a martial arts solution.
That's right. That's very good.
I don't, and I was talking to Dr. John Moore down in Houston, and if he's watching, God bless you, buddy. But I believe in conversation before casualty. Now, when I say
Mm.
casualty, I'm not talking about termination, right? When I say
Yeah.
casualty, people, I'm not talking to you anymore. No, I like to have a conversation so we can understand if you agree not to talk to me anymore, you agree to do that
Yeah.
at the end of this conversation because I'm going to ask you questions. I
Yeah.
believe in conversation for casualty, which means
Right.
to me, confrontation is basically an opportunity for a martial arts solution.
That's right. I
That we're
believe it.
martial artists. We need to stand apart, especially the higher rank you are, the more responsibility. Heavy's the head that wears the crown. The more
Mm.
responsibility of going first, the more experience
Yeah.
in how you handle things
Yep.
and how you do what's right with things.
Mm.
You can't expect a showdown or a first or second degree or a beginning black sash
Yep.
to understand what a Sadoshi or what a Hanshi or Kyoshi, that experience, we go first to make sure that they
Yeah.
learn how to handle problems.
That's right. Amen to
And
that.
right, and that goes along with the power. Power is not always a physical thing, right? Power is mental. And sometimes you have to use the
Yeah.
feeling of that mental power
Yeah.
into your experience. That's what
Mm-hmm.
martial arts is. That's why we have mentors, right?
Yep.
And like you
Agree.
said, you found yourself for some reason not wanting confrontation, but that's why Ecclesiastes 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
If I want an excuse, I'll jump on that one.
It's right there. It's right there. We believe it, so we receive it.
That's right. That's right. There's a time for everything. That's right.
That's right. There's a time for everything, guys. Go and read that chapter. It will open your spirit. It will open your spirit, and
Absolutely.
it will speak to you. And oh, sir, it's been such a wonderful, wonderful honor and experience to have you on the show. And I know that we will have to do a second session because there's so many more things that we can. I mean, we can definitely talk about a lot of things for hours. That I can sense that
Yes.
energy. And I believe because we are collaborating in many ways. Thank you so much for everything that you are also doing for me and for ma'am. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on your induction.
Yes.
And
Thank you for that. Thank you. I was going to talk about that before we go. Thank you.
please.
I mean, the legendary of the year. I mean, it's like it's insane. The trophy is off the chain. And yes, I have some pictures that I've already posted out there on the post. Thank you so much for the certification. And I have congratulations to you as far as accepting the SIFMA, the Shogun International Federation of Martial Arts. Now I'm talking to my international ambassador for
Thank you,
the
sir.
Shogun International Federation of Martial Arts. Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank you
much.
so much for accepting that. And basically, the Federation is just, we all are so pleased to have you as well as others represent who and what we do. So it's
Thank you,
an
sir.
honor. It's an honor to have you on board. And thank you so much for making me an ambassador to ma'am. I mean, I love it. I'm here for you guys. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for believing in me, for the induction, for the beautiful, beautiful certification and the trophy. I actually have it up front in front when you walk in my school. If you it's insane how martial arts brings people together. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
You
much.
are so welcome. So thank you for the honor. I'm so, so excited to work with you and your team. And it's a great, great honor for me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for everything. And yes, martial arts, guys, is life. And it brings life into our existence. And it teaches people not just to exist, but to live. So
Yes,
if you're out there in the audience, doesn't matter what age you are, and you've always wanted to do martial arts, or there's something telling you to do martial arts, because I believe martial arts finds people.
yes,
Go to a dojo near you, get a kyoshi, get a sifu, get a sensei, and see how your life is transformed.
absolutely. If anybody wants to contact me, reach me, I talk to everybody, right? It doesn't matter. I always return, my phone calls, my messages. If you don't hear back from me, I two things. I either didn't get it or I'm dead.
That's good. It's very important. It's very important to have
Right.
good
So
communication.
exactly. So messenger, whatever. I'm here for everybody. Thanks. Thank you, Sensei Juanita. Thank you for all you do. It's well appreciated. Looking forward to seeing you down at PGL's Professor Gary Lee. Gary Lee is just a legendary. So many people, such a good heart. We actually talked today, right?
Oh,
we
good.
yeah, we talk quite often. James B. Devereaux the third, the pack. I mean, my instructor, mentor. Thank everybody that's at ma'am, my ma'am family, the Shogun family. It just I tell you, we're just all intertwined for greatness together. Thank
Amen.
God for His provision. Thank God for His protection and His blessings over us always. So keep doing good things.
Amen to that. You too, sir. Thank you very much, and a big amen to that. Because really, and we've mentioned this, and we cannot say it enough because it's so important. We can do nothing without God.
Absolutely.
Guys, God's grace is there for us, and
Yes.
His mercies on you every morning. So give Him
Amen. Absolutely.
praise. Be grateful for every day.
Yeah.
and appreciate the people in your life. And you are
Yeah.
also appreciated, sir, for what you do. Keep shining out there. And thank you. And I'll definitely host you in an upcoming session again because I know we have a lot more to delve into.
Well, thank you so much. Remember, God is good. Accept the salvation. Tomorrow's not promised
Amen.
to anybody.
Amen. Oes. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Okay. God bless and good night. Oh,
God
thank you.
bless, sir. Oes. There you go, everybody. What a wonderful session with a legend, one of our MAM ambassadors. Absolutely someone that's out there, a legend, making a difference to the martial arts. There's so many things going on. You know, I used to do news clips here at Meticulous Moments where I would come online and I would talk about what's coming up at MAM or what's coming up at Meticulous, and you know who's being scheduled for this week and who's going to be on next week. And I actually had someone reach out to me, actually 2 or 3 people in the last 3 weeks, and they said, Juanita, are you still doing your show? And I said, oh, yes. And I want to say to the Meticulous Moments audience, there's a lot more episodes coming. It's been a very busy time. As you guys know, Kevin and I, my fiance, we have merged our families and we have been very, very busy here in Texas. We've been moving his shop. Kevin and I were both sick in January. We had COVID, then he had a flu, then he had, I think it's cellulitis in his nose. And I also want you to pray for him because today at work he actually tore a muscle. So, you know, there's a lot been going on, but we're almost back into our routine. And then you will get more meticulous moments, episodes like you used to see. For everybody out there sharing the content, I just want to say thank you. You know, your support is tremendous. This was started in honor of my mom that passed away from stage 4 brain cancer. I want to pray for that MAM member whose son is 8 years old, who has just been diagnosed with brain cancer. And I just want to bring him to the Lord and say, Jesus, may your blood be over him. Thank you for the work that you've done on the cross so that this little boy can be safe and healed, that he can enjoy life. Thank you that you are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and that your name is above every other name, and that includes cancer as well. And we speak healing over that little boy. And thank you for everybody who's praying, because we know the power of prayer. I want to ask you to pray for the MAM families. I want to ask you to pray for your fellow martial artists. You know, we come online, we see things online, and we don't always know what people are going through behind the scenes. Pray for people. If someone pops up into your spirit, pray for that person because that happened for a reason. And I just want to say thank you so much that everything, you know, that everybody is on board. And ma'am, I'm going to introduce some new ambassadors this week. So congratulations, guys. I'm going to be posting your posters soon. And thank you for being on board. Thank you for the ones who are there already, who's making a big impact. There's big things to come. Kevin and I are going to, we're here at the office at the moment. Honey, I don't know in which part of the building you are, but I love you. And I hope your muscle heals well. And also to follow what he does, please go to stoppingfentanyl.com and stoppinggunviolence.com. And we've got big news because I'm working with another web developer. We're working together, putting a lovely website together for him for worldwide awareness, and also a magazine. So the magazine's going to be coming out soon. Keep an eye out for that. Watch the space. Guys, keep shining. Love God. Appreciate every single day that you have. And remember, every day is a gift. I'll see you guys in the next session. Thank you so much, Sir, Mr. Shogun Brown. It was a true honor to have you on board. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.